If you look at a game like Final Fantasy, does anybody even see how different Final Fantasy has been? I remember back when I was a child and playing Final Fantasy II on Super Nintendo, which in Japan, I believe that they call it Final Fantasy IV, because the numerations got a little confusing from America to Asia. But that was the one with Cecil and the Red Wings. You know, it was one of my favorite, it's still one of my favorite RPGs ever. Love the story. Now, back then, was the graphics eye-opening? No. However, I can still remember certain key aspects of that story to this day. I look back at Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII. Same thing, even though 8 was more so, I prefer 8 over 7, but that's neither here nor there. And then when I looked at a game like Final Fantasy 15, which I have right in my little fucking Tupperware over there that I hold all my games. And then when I looked at what Final Fantasy 16 was, and when I looked at this and I was like, this does not look like Final Fantasy to me. This looks like Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden with numbers on the screen. That's what this looks like. That's what it looks like. And I'm not mad at it, but I have an understanding as to why they went this route. Whenever you have a game that is complex, it's going to take people to understand what they're doing, the mechanics, and so on and so forth. Typically in role-playing games, the combat system had a focus on turn-based combat. You take your turn, the enemy takes their turn. It involves a lot of planning. Do I do this particular attack? But I don't know if the attack is going to land. It might miss, and then my character is low on health. When it's time for the enemy side to attack you, the character that you need to stay alive on your team, they're low on health. Now you have the opportunity to take out that enemy in your turn, but it's not a guarantee that your characters are going to land the hit. If they miss, your character is fucking done. So you have to weigh those options. You have to weigh that decision, because the minute you end the last decision, that's it. Now things are going to unfold. That little invisible dice roll is going to happen. Now, maybe you might score that hit. You might win the battle. But that's my point. There's a lot more preemptive decision making that you have to make. You're not only making the choice on what you intend on doing, you're also making that choice based on what you perceive how the enemy is going to respond back to you. And it does not happen in real time. That takes thought. In today's society, turn-based games are not really something you're seeing often. Not as much as back when I was a kid. I'm not here to debate which one is better. I'm basically stating, looking at how gaming has changed, they have gone more so to an area where you are able to mash buttons. You're pressing shit. You're not really learning shit. That's what it is. When I saw, games like, Final Fantasy 16, it's basically, like I said, it's like a Ninja Gaiden with numbers, and I understand why they did that. Now, you might say, well, if you look at, what's that one? Expedition 33, right? Okay. They basically borrowed a Souls-like mechanic and put it in to a turn-based system. And to be quite honest, I mean, if I really want to, go there was another game that came out Now, I'm not saying they're the originator, but I did play another game that did something like this, and it was called Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars, if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, just Google it, YouTube it. It's not that hard. But Sea of Stars is a traditional turn-based RPG game. During combat, it is possible for you, based on timing, where if the enemy attacks your character, you can press the A button on Xbox, which would be the X, I think, on PlayStation, and you can time that button to where your character will take less damage. So basically, it promoted more active control of what's happening. Same thing when you attack the enemy. If you attack the enemy, you press the button at the right time, you could do additional follow-ups. So when I first saw Expedition 33, I was like, okay, so this reminds me of Sea of Stars. So when I see like what's going on with gaming now, I see that gaming back when I was growing up, when I would play like the old Final Fantasy games and games that were not that graphically amazing, when you look at what's going on now with the advancement of technology and everything else, that rises development costs. You have to get a return on investment. And different companies are going to go down different routes. Some may have a focus on microtransactions. Others may dumb down their games in terms of reducing the gatekeeping of the difficulty of the game.